Hello, welcome back to episode 8 of this secret series that accompanies the Ideal Client Workshop. I want to ask you a question and I want you to really sit with it and be really honest with it. Where are you accidentally or deliberately diluting yourself? Where are you holding back? Where are you right on the precipice of actually really saying what you mean and then scurrying back in almost into the hole where you go, oh no, I don't want to say that just in case, or I'm a bit worried about, oh, I'm not sure that. Because often when you are scurrying back in, you are leaving the conversation too early and you're being pulled by your fear rather than your impact, rather than your intention. Let me get my notes because I have a lot to say on this. Firstly, now is not that time. In this busy internet world that never sleeps, that is 24/7, where everybody wants to take up that space on the internet, you've got to make a decision on who you are, what you represent, what you're all about, and really go for that. Number 2, guess what happens when, okay, let's think about a drink, for example. So when I was a kid, I don't know why, we had a school choir and we ended up in all sorts of places, churches, fetes, old people's homes, Christmas concerts, and there'd always be a display of refreshments. That's what they would call them. And sometimes you'd get fed, you're 9 or 10 or 11 at this stage. You get fed really well and there'd be like loads of treats and penguin bars and club biscuits and crisps and all of this stuff that would appeal to you. And sometimes you'd look at some suspicious sandwiches that have been sitting there all day and you'd be like, nope, no, not gonna try that egg sandwich. It's really not for me. And there would be sometimes those big jugs of cordial and you would try it. Sometimes it would be so strong it would blow your head off, but actually you would rather that because it was flavorful. Or sometimes it would be so diluted you had no sense of what the flavor originally was. It would just be that kind of lukewarm, like, what I don't know what this flavor is, what it's supposed to be. I have no opinion either way. That's what's going to happen if you set the intention of blending in on the internet. And when things become diluted, they become a bit boring. They become a little bit, it's all right, but I don't miss it when it's not there. That's not how you want to run a business. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to actively refresh things. And I want you to get into a space where you can access some radical truths here. And I think sometimes where people make this jump from being a little bit safe and diluted into being radical, sometimes that feels like a huge jump. But I instead of seeing it as like you're here or you're here, I want you to see it as a spectrum. There are posts that I put up that I'm not going to say they're lazy because that's not very nice to say to myself, but they're safe. I could do them in my sleep. And then there are moments where I know in my business, I've got to stretch myself. I've got to do something different. I cannot just bob along and hope for the best. So I would love you to do that. Next, I want you to see where you're holding back and why, and ask yourself how you can cushion yourself through this process, how you can gently do it. So whenever I take my daughter to this gymnastics place, at first, when you've got a toddler that is saying to you, I do it, I can do it, I do it, you're thinking, not on my watch, mate, you're not going up on that thing. But somehow, because this gymnastics place is run like an 80s one, like it's got really big, cushiony, chunky mats, there's part of you that's much more flexible with that parenting because you're like, okay, well, she's not going to hurt us. She's not falling on concrete. she's gonna jump and I'm here, and also there's a nice soft landing, because it's, you know, it's a bit of a distance for her to jump, but it's soft and it's cushiony and it's fit for purpose. That's how you have to protect yourself as you're going through business growth, making sure that yes, you can stretch and you can move into those places and spaces, but you've got enough of a cushion. I want you to notice, and I'm exhaling here a lot because I do it so much, where are you people pleasing? Where are you taking the safe, sensible option? Maybe you have people pleasing running through your life and now through your business. I want you to look at it and question it. Finally, I want you to bring out and bring to the surface all the worries, anxieties, and the fears, and the what if, and I'm scared about this, and oh my goodness, what if this thing happened? Bring them out. Sit them at the table, spread them all out. Like, okay, what do you want to say? What are you worried about? Bring out all these fears. Instead of just going, no, I'm just going to become more visible and trying to push them down, really allow their point of view to be communicated, because that's the information that's going to be so valuable for you. Finally, if you haven't followed the Secret series, absolutely do so, because I'm going to be talking more about this. This work is really important, by the way, in terms of linking it back to your ideal clients, because your ideal clients want you and they want the best version of you. It's like if your friends invited you out on a Saturday night because you're the go-to party person, they don't want your Sunday morning version. They want your Saturday night version. And it's the same with your ideal clients. Your clients want that best version of you. Also, if you haven't watched the workshop in its entirety, absolutely go and do that. And if you want to join your digital disco, don't forget to add magic at checkout to save 20%. As always, there are 3 options, an online version, and the other 2 options, 2 and 3, are with me, and I can support you every step of the way. I'll catch you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.